And welcome back, my fellow Aeternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP. Today, we are once again live out at our capital territory of Vitae, and we have a lot to update you on. First off, official government of Pine River, it is great to see you. Thank you so much to everybody who is here live. For you guys who watch afterward, though, don't worry, we will be getting into a lot of detail as to what the Empire of Aeternia has been doing, how we've been growing our capital territory, and what you can expect next from edited videos from us, as well as from these live streams. So, really quickly, I have been hard at work today, even before we started out. The Witchery, great to see you. Homeland, great to see you. Thank you guys for liking the video and getting it out to more people. A lot of people don't know when we do these live streams, so the more that it updates, we'll try to follow us that, hey, so it helps them to tune in and to get those notifications. That being said, I have had to dig additional ground out for our plot of our garden. We are extending it officially because I had to plant an additional 12 plants out here today. We have some mustard that we just started planting back here with our radish. It's going to be nearly impossible to see, but they're down there. We also have more tomato plants. We have way too many tomato plants. In fact, I had to prune some that we brought because we had 7 tomato plants that we were going to plant today. In addition to the 12 or 13 we already have, we're going to have 1 million tomatoes and limited amounts of everything else. So I ended up only planting 2 additional tomato plants, still an insane amount. Of course, our cucumbers doing beautifully. Our tomatoes were starting to sag a little bit. I didn't tie them down as well as I should to their stakes, and so whenever I came out today, they were drooping, but that has been repaired. Our garden, for the most part, is flourishing. It's doing beautifully. We need to get it a little more sun. It is kind of under a canopy out here, and so especially on partly cloudy days like today, it's not great for their overall well-being to be in the shade like this. Nonetheless, somehow, by a miracle, they are growing and developing. Regardless, we have also gotten our water supply over here in case we get a week or 2 without rain. These guys need consistent water, so we have started a little extra water supply. Again, this is non-potable water. This isn't something we're planning on drinking, but it's just overflow for the garden that we have, that we're keeping bugs out of. So, that being the case, last time, if you guys followed the live stream that we had previously, I will walk you guys over, we started developing more onto our dwelling. So, moving on from the garden, we had set up these posts, and I'll show you one right over here. We set up posts like this guy, and we had put in these supports here. Today we're going to be taking off these supports, and already, this concrete is dry. This thing is stable and set in the ground. So we are actually going to be able to start working on the first half of the 3rd wall for this dwelling. Now, this of course won't have people living in it anytime soon. We would have to get, plumbing done. We would have to provide fresh drinking water, and of course electricity, many things that we are far behind on. But for the time being, we are advanced. We are getting a shelter out here. We're getting something that is a nice little camp to be able to stay for a weekend, start to continue developing the garden and growing it. I wish I could weed more in the garden. There's plenty of stuff that I wish I could do out here to start developing the aesthetic of Vitae and actually bringing more Aeternian culture out here. We've done a little bit with our sign. We've done a little bit with the arrow of progress watching over our garden and, being a symbol on it. But we really want to start getting the Garden of Nations built up and actually putting flags out here to showcase your guys' nations and who's been supporting the Empire and helping out with everything on our Patreon. We want to be able to make this a nice place that we can stay and get out of the rain and start to store items and lock things up, have a little bit of security out here as well. In the case, there is a lot to be done on it. I just pile of wood, so that is also something that I have been working on behind the scenes to get us a little bit more. We have been collecting pallet wood for a long time, and it's stockpiled quite a decent amount, and now we have put all of that on the walls. So we're actually going to have to go back out onto the hunt over the next week or 2 before we do more on the dwelling and actually collect a lot more pallet wood. But for today, we have a bundle that we're going to be working with, and again, trying to complete the first half of the third wall. Once we have that up, we will be working more on putting additional support structure, additional framing onto the walls, getting ready to start the supports for the roof. So that being the case, we're working really slow. We're just trying to get this thing kind of boxed in for right now, get an area that's more out of the elements. A lot of work to be done before this thing is ready to have somebody sleeping inside of it, but we're going to be doing that. If we have time today, I may continue to dig out the foundation a little bit more. As you know, we're going to be a little bit below ground level, just maybe a foot or two when this structure is complete, and so we need to continue doing that and pushing that out. So for today, again, taking off these supports that were holding the posts while they solidified in concrete from last time. They are good and ready to go now. So we're going to pull off those supports and start adding to this wall. If you guys have any questions about what the Empire of Aeternia is, what we do, or how we are moving forward with our goals, definitely let us know. Again, so much to update you guys on. It actually sucks because I want to put more videos out, but it's always a choice between, hey, do I launch on this opportunity that is very short-lived and is, is going to be awful if we lose it, or do I take the extra time and make a video about the things we've done so far? So right now, we have been fortunate in the position that there is a lot that we can do and a lot that we can achieve out here in very short order, so long as we act on it in a reasonable amount of time. That means, though, that content gets backed up because we need to be moving on those things right now, and we'll have to update you guys as we get time to rest. So, getting to it. Great to see everybody again. I hope you all have been having a wonderful time developing nations or being a part of the communities that you are a part of and enjoying your time. I know many of us, those in college, those are getting out of school for the summer. I know I just finished my final exams for college and have been now developing out here over this week, and it has been quite exciting. Well, actually, this is the first time I've come out this week, but the last couple weeks doing stuff like this, it has been incredibly exciting. So now what I'm actually going to do is try and salvage these pieces of wood that we used for the support, because that will actually help us to build the wall. So I should do that. One thing I have forgotten in my folly to get ready for the stream is, goodness, if I could just pull it out, it would be so convenient. But I should probably do safe things, especially on camera. I need to go get the hammer. I need to go get my hammer. I left it in the car. So I will run, but I will be right back. Let's see. Hey, people talking about the worth of silver dollars. People talking about different websites, different channel stuff. Great to see everybody. Again, in the beautiful capital territory of the Empire of Aeternia. I am going to go and grab my hammer. I will be right back. Apologies. Continue to talk amongst yourselves and enjoy a beautiful day of Aeternia. Excuse me one second. Okay, back. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me make sure I clip on properly. Check, check. Okay, so let me check in with everybody. Pine River, great to see you guys. Tide, great to see you. And Homeland, great to see you. Thank you guys for liking the video. Right now, let's go ahead and pull these supports off. So we got one. See if I can get under there. Two, throw that off. And then three right here. Okay, so that's one. And again, this thing is stable. So we've got that started. This one wasn't one that had supports on it. Let me turn you guys so you can see a little better what I'm up to. I will pull the rest of these supports off, and then we're going to quickly get to work on the rest of this. So let me show you guys where we're at here. Hey, we got 13 viewers. Thank you guys. 3 likes. Thank you all for being here. Tide Pride said, hey, P, you're back. Great to see you guys. Thank you guys for liking. Republic of Kaluga, always good to see you guys. Thanks for being here with us. Real quick, I'm going to pull this one off screen just so I can be fast about all this. Get this one. Got this one. And got this one. Okay, now we're coming over here to the final one that we supported last time. We got one. That should be 2 if I can whip off. Yep, 2. And then this one will be 3 right here. And goodness, 3. All right, we got these off again. These guys, good to go, pretty sturdy. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on the third wall, which is on this side. So I'll bring you guys back over there. Right here, in between this post that you can see and this post, which you can't see, is going to be our door frame. So once we finish this entire third wall, which we're going to be working on half of it today, we'll probably get a little less than half done today. But once we finish that third wall, then we will be on to this area over here, right on the other side of this post, which will be getting set up to start the framing for the door frame. And then we'll do the same thing on that side, and then we'll actually work on the framing of the door frame. Then we'll work on framing each of these walls for additional support, and then we will be continuing on with the roof. So not doing all of that today, but we will be working on this third wall for sure, and giving you guys some updates on what we've been up to. One of the things that I'm elated to talk about that you guys on stream will get a special sneak peek of, even though we haven't been able to release much about it, we will be doing so soon when I can make some additional Instagram posts and Twitter posts and stuff like that, X posts, whatever. And we'll also be hopefully making long form videos about it as we keep going. But we have some more solar panels. So our energy output has in fact increased a small amount. They are ones that we are refurbishing, so they're not great. One of them works near its complete capacity. One of them is about at half of its capacity. One of them is almost dead, and then the other one is like unusable, I think. In the case, we've got that in addition to the other 2 solar panels that we had originally, which are nice and working well. So we are increasing our output. Those are in fact a little bit bigger in size on average than the ones that we had originally. So we are improving a significant amount. Forgetting other things. Now I'm forgetting all the nails. I should have brought this all down at once, but it looks like I'm going to sprint back up that hill again. So excuse me for a few minutes, guys. I will be right back, unfortunately. But then, as you can see, I'll give you guys this sneak peek as well. We started, even before we put in this last time, where I connected from all the way on that wall down. I started with a long piece of wood that we had, and then I connected and did the same thing on this side with a piece of wood that we had, and tried to get them to meet in the middle. Unfortunately, that has not happened, but then we now put these support posts in so we can go ahead and make those attachments, do what we need to do to keep adding to the wall, and that is next. So, excuse me guys, I will be right back. In fact, I will go ahead and pin this right here so that I don't lose it. You guys hold the mic for me. Let me know what y'all talk about. Hello, hello, hello. We are back again with a box of nails, finally ready to work. You guys ready for this? Because we are getting to it. Finally. Real quick, I say that. Let me run over here. Dropping the mic. Sorry about it. Let's get that back connected. There we go. Let's try not to step in the garden at all. Okay. Let's get it. Again, I hope you guys have been doing well. Excited to read your comments here soon. For the time being, though, since we may not have too long out here, I don't want it to rain. It might miss us. It looks like it might miss us, actually. It's getting a little bit more clear. Ooh, excuse me, everybody. So I am going ahead and getting started with this wall, seeing what we can do with it. Okay, so starting with this piece that we had initially secured down previously. We'll go ahead and turn you guys so you can see where I'm at a little bit better. And in fact, I might just pull you farther back so it's easier to see and move where things are going. All right, so here we are. Right about there is where I'm working. Cool. Again, hope you guys are doing well. Let's see where we're starting. All right, so we got this one. We have these two semi-connected. Not great, but you know, living the dream. We're gonna get this one started and lined up right here. Go ahead and connect into this board. Hey everybody, sorry about that. All right, so we are set up here. And I'm going to be starting actually on the back. I know it may be hard to differentiate what's what, but I will kind of angle you guys so you can see a little bit better here. That's the back side. So what we're going to be doing is starting on that side and trying to go over to here, so that way you guys can see the full workspace. From that post to this post, we are going to be trying to build up our wall here with the excess pallet wood we have. So I'm going to go ahead and start our next piece. Actually, I should probably try and look for a really ideal piece to get started with. Let's see. That'll do. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started with this guy. Now, he does have some nails in him, some staples actually. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then we will continue forward just like that. Oh, I actually shoved those in worse, laid them down flat accidentally. So we're going to dig them out, get them to stand back up again, and then whack on them just a little bit more to make sure that these staples, like the rest of the staples, come out nicely. Yep, came out pretty decent. Now we just go through right here, just like this, and we pull each of them out. Getting them, and going to set them actually on this piece of wood right here until I need to use it. That way I don't lose them. And two more. Just one more staple to go. And here we are with our completed piece of wood that will be our next panel for this dwelling. So now we're going right here. Don't know how well you guys can see that, but we have set up our next one. All we're going to do, come over here, get two of our nails, and add this piece. And this is how this process will go until we are stacked all the way up level with the rest of the walls here that we have. And eventually, we will be finishing out this entire third wall, which will be getting really, really close to making this a more and more practical building for us. As of right now, we've put a lot of work into this structure. Sorry, I should go ahead and finish hammering before I talk to you guys, I guess. Let's get this straight. All right, got one in. Here goes the second one. And second one. There we go. All right. So now this guy's on there. This structure we've put a lot of time and effort into, but it hasn't given us much back yet. As it's an incomplete structure, we can't sleep in it, we can't lock things up in it, we can't use it for the ways that we would normally use something like this, even just as a shed. And so today is just one more step in the right direction to change that. Pull this guy out. Yep, save this nail. And again, right now I'm just removing all of the nails from these pieces of wood, making sure I don't drop them on the ground, lose them in the foliage, and continuing on. Okay, pulling this guy out. Pulling this guy out in the final two. Now, one of the things that I'm doing, I actually might do it with this longer piece before. I want to make sure that I get this guy to line up well with the next height. So I probably want to do a wider piece like this and then go a smaller piece. That way it's more even as we continue to stack. Because otherwise, the wonkier that we start off with our initial pieces, the worse that our building will get over time. As you can see, that back wall pretty straight and pretty level. We had some kind of mishmash pieces over on the back that we had to actually double layer to make real smooth and real nice. And so mishaps like that, if you can avoid them initially, save you a lot of time and effort in the long run. So that's our strategy. We're going to pull this nail out real fast. This was one of our support boards for these posts from last live stream, and so now we're actually going to use it in the wall itself as part of our building material. If I can pull out these, yep, staples. There we go. 1 and 2. Cool. And trying to line up with this guy again, and then kind of nail those together right about like that. That looks like it could work, potentially. Okay. All right, got one part secure. Going in for the second one. Cool. Got that board on. Now, if I can get that piece to secure, we got this one set up right there, and we can keep going. All right. Gonna pop over to this side and start connecting our pieces. One of the things I have already seen it's going to be a problem. I forgot to knock out a couple of old nails in this board, which means I either have to flatten them out, try to mitigate their impact on the structure, or I have to figure out how to hammer them out right now in the middle of this process. So it depends on which one is going to take less time. It looks like these are pretty well burrowed in there, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and flatten them out, unfortunately. That does mean they're going to affect our structure, but hopefully a minimal amount. We'll probably just have to secure this area a little better later on, either by cutting this piece off. So I'm going to try to actually make it, this edge, extend a little bit off of where I'm going to secure the structure to itself, secure this, little piece of paneling to itself. That way, knocked our piece off. That way. Yep. Okay. Faulty board. Giving us enough problems. Not going to use it. Onto a better, more stable piece. Let me grab just another board altogether. Let's see. It's all right, I guess. Let's see what an actual improvement would look like. Let's go with, hang on. That might do the trick. Okay. Similar board. Looks a little more sturdy. Let's try it out. Same shape, same size. I see one nail in it already that is incredibly easy to get out. So we're just going to pull that, stick it off to the side, the rest of our other pieces of nails, and here we go. Oh, one more. Glad I spotted that. Final nail in this one. Pulling this out. Here we go. Okay. Relatively clean board. Going to go ahead and try to re-secure and move forward with our structure. Okay. Let me. There we go. All right. I think I'm going to have to toss these nails too. No way they can really be used anymore. They're all bent and wobbly. I shot that thing. I'm going to have to find that in just a second. Same thing here. This one got all bent up, so it is unusable. Where's that other nail? Ruh-roh. Losing that other nail. Up, shot all the way over here. Look at that. Insane. Good to see you guys. Tide Pride says, Emperor AP, what's the youngest Micronational leader you've met digitally or physically? That's a great question. I would say there were some at Microcon. And Microcon, you guys would call it Microcon 2022. That was the official name of it. For the Empire of Aeternia, we go by the Holocene calendar, so 12,022. That year we went to Microcon, our only Microcon, the first time an Aeternian delegation has visited Microcon. There were a group of probably like 7 to 10-year-olds, like fairly young kids, whose parents brought them and who ran a micronation together. Very young kids, incredibly impressive, super cool. It looks like they had a lot of fun. That was the youngest that I have met. And again, I didn't really meet them per se, but we were at the same event. So it was cool. It was interesting to see. Good luck to those people who started the nation so young. I don't encourage that. I think in general, people shouldn't create micronations. They should be joining other micronations. Why reinvent the wheel over and over again? But secondly, I think developing a micronation, while it can be an incredible amount of fun, if you're trying to do it practically, can also be incredibly stress-inducing. And so I think, as a hobby, if people want to do it for fun as they are younger, that is certainly something to be pursued, but I think a lot of younger people, especially joining the community, come in and are really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited about the concept of developing their own country, and they think they're going to take the world by storm, and they struggle, one, just with the micronational community sometimes having haters in it, and just people who are really rude and awful, people who are trying to hurt each other. So that's dangerous for people who are young, who are trying to start micronations. But also, I think it's just the amount of things that you're trying to do. The more seriously that you take it, the more that you build up what you're trying to do and get excited, the more you tend to try to plan and to, you know, figure out. But your work becomes spread thinner and thinner as you try and do more and more, and so that adds a lot of stress. It adds a lot of management that you have to do of additional people and resources to try and get things to work. That's why, you know, micronational democracies, any micronational government that gets to a certain size becomes really difficult to handle unless you just have a nice steady stream of income to pay all of those people, because it gets difficult. It gets difficult to organize. It gets difficult to provide incentives for, on and on down the list. So those headaches, things like that, I definitely don't wish upon younger micronationalists. And I think a lot of them aren't anticipating developing that far, but I don't want to speak for anybody. I know there are plenty of young micronationalists who are incredibly ambitious, and so I just warn against that. It is not only dangerous sometimes to be a part of the community, but it is also incredibly difficult personally to do in any large order, to try your best in. So I think a lot of young micronationalists end up leaving the community pretty quickly, simply for that purpose. There are plenty of people who, if you're not as realist as them or not doing it as seriously as them, do not want to see your face, do not want you to be a part of their community, or, you know, to talk to them, which can be pretty disheartening, because you never know in the community when you're going to talk to one person who's incredibly wonderful and supportive and kind, and, you know, will help you to craft documents and will give you a whole bunch of advice and help you create a micro wiki page and, you know, really set you up. And then those people who are going to tell you you're trash and rip apart every idea you have and, you know, go after you online, try and dox you or something. It can be incredibly difficult. And so I definitely urge against that for younger micronationalists. And we've had like younger micronationalists on the stream before. People who say like, hey, I'm like this and this age and I'm trying to start a micronation, and oh, people hit me up for alliances and stuff. Let y'all's parents know what you're doing if you're a younger micronationalist. Again, I have my own opinions about younger micronationalists not being as involved in the community as I think a lot of them are. Nothing against them or their ideas, but just simply because of how difficult it is to be a part of the community sometimes, and how dangerous it can be. It's almost like you know, if you play like a video game online, like an RPG online, I always think of like Grand Theft Auto. When you play Grand Theft Auto online, there are some people who will give you like a whole bunch of stuff right away. Like you'll start out the game and they'll give you a ton of money and a ton of like weapons and a ton of everything to like rank up your character really hard. And then there are other people who you'll start out and will just kill you over and over again and come find you and kill you and find you over and over and over again. And it sucks. So I would say definitely, to the younger micronationalist, be wary, and if at all possible, wait until you're older to really try and step out into the community if that's what you're you know, really passionate about. If you absolutely cannot stand to join another micronation, absolutely, in that case, wait till you're older and have a little bit more experience under your belt I will tell you one of the instances of that, a story from Microcon 2022. Microcon 2022 was obviously a blast, super fun. That being said, either, you know, I'm not sure if certain people like paid to go into the event, um, and some didn't and just kind of snuck in or what. All the Micronationalists there were very cool. Everybody who planned and hosted it, like it was wonderful. There were a ton of like people who were media and press there who were also very cool. None of those people I'm talking about in this scenario. But there was one time where myself and Tiffany and Stephen, another member of our delegation, another member of our government, who went to Microcon, ran into these people who said themselves, like, no, we're not Micronational. Like, we didn't even like pay. We just saw that this event was around and decided to like come in. And it was really weird. There are people at the door who like monitor, you know, to check to make sure that you're someone who's like paid your ticket to get into Microcon. So in that case, it's like relatively safe. But there were then these people who just like showed up that nobody kind of knew. And it was really weird. It was like these middle-aged guys who showed up and really like, I don't know, they weren't inherently doing anything wrong, had a weird vibe about them. Each one of us in our group all got a weird vibe about them, and had like a weird interaction with them. And so thinking about like younger Micronationalists going to events like that or meetups or things like that, very concerning. Once again, be very careful with stuff like that, because it's just, you never know in this community what's going to happen. So be careful. Rant over. Now I'm going to grab another piece. This one's kind of messed up. I don't know if I want this one. It looked nice until I looked closer. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? That one's a little short, but it might do if I have nothing else. Okay, I guess I'm starting to go with some shorter ones. This is going to be weird, but we will see how it works out. Well, I guess I'll do these. Guess I'll do these real fast. They're relatively long, even though they're pretty narrow boards. They won't give us a lot of additional height, but will probably help nonetheless in connecting these bottom pieces. One of the things that does feel nice about getting this third wall done is the fact that, like, as of yet, this hasn't really felt like a closed off structure. You know, it doesn't feel like a building. It's two walls, and so from one side it's kind of blocked, and there's something that is a structure here, but from this side it's all open, and so it doesn't feel like you're really, you know, walking into a building or a structure or anything. It feels, I guess, like it should as a, I guess I should connect this piece as a, oh yeah, that'll work perfectly, as a construction site. But that being said, it is a construction site that is, let me see if I can, no, that's going to be weird. Okay, I know what we're going to do. It's a construction site that we're slowly getting to be closed off, and the more closed off it gets, the better that it feels, the more it feels like something's coming together and becoming practically usable. We can put things in here to keep them out of, you know, the weather. But as we keep going, I'm going to nail this piece to this piece. Will this even reach right there? Probably not, unless I just extend it out like that. And then the good news is there is some weird, well, this isn't the good news. There is some weirdness with the way that these things connected, but ultimately it made them both at about the proper height to keep our necks level. And so we are doing pretty good, if I do say so myself. Let's see. Okay. I'm not doing too great at absorbing the shock of this thing so that I can actually there we go, start driving this thing through. Especially with this small hammer. I had a bigger hammer that I have misplaced somewhere in the car that I should be using to do this. Obviously, the more weight that you hit at the structure, the more force you're imparting on the head of the nail. Larger the mass, I should say. Anyway, pretty good, pretty level, if I do say so myself. Again, this is kind of wonky because if you can see from, you can't see from my angle, but there is a little bit of an extension where our wall has kind of opened up. There's a hole, so I'm gonna have to go behind one of our pieces and add an additional piece to block that hole off. But we won't worry about that right now. We're just gonna get kind of this outer paneling done. And I will move all of our little staples and stuff here while we do that. Oh, spider. Don't want to get bit. Excuse me, guy. Gonna set all that down. See if I can't knock our spider friend off here. Excuse me, big guy. There we go. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one off and use this one in much the same way, but on this side. All right, we got one nail out. And this one will probably just have to stay in there. That one looks very bent up. Okay. Same thing here. We're getting started right about there. That's not going to give us a great, but might actually be better. Get started with this. Even still, not a great length to deal with. Okay. We may be on to different boards altogether because this is going to get wonky. Let's see what else we got. Just by chance, what if we use something like this? Is this long enough? It's getting longer. It's better. Well, roughly the same length as that one. Let's check some of these bigger boards. If I were to get this guy, how would it go? If I were to secure that about right there. That's very good. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay, got this one secured down. Similar story. Trying to build up here. And so we're probably going to do another nail there in a minute. But now we have this part starting out. Later on, we will have to come down and actually knock stuff like this down because it no longer serves a purpose for us. Oh, except for, I guess, keeping that spider right there. All right, let's see what everybody's doing. Hey, 15 viewers, 7 likes. Thank you guys for being here and helping to support the stream. It means a lot. Okay, cool deal. Sign Sub says, what state is bro in? Alabama. We are in Alabama. But we are in the Micronation of Vitae. The Micronation of the Empire of Aeternia, the capital territory of which is Vitae. Goodness. In my work delirium, I am misrepresenting my own nation. But we will adjust for that. That is one of the cool things to see, though. As Vitae becomes more and more real and we keep developing it, the Vitaean identity starts to blend more and more with Aeternia, as, you know, largest population, whatever is the largest group in a country, is going to start affecting in a great way its culture and identity. And so now that more and more people have come out to Vitae and have this like connection with it, it's really cool to see that that is starting to just become a unique kind of identity in and of itself. It's just incredible to see. Real quick, I am going to deal with these little extensions for some reason that are on here. Hopefully I don't break this board apart, but that looks like what I'm doing, which isn't too great. Okay. Let me see if maybe I can pry them up, pry the screws out of there, or nails out of there. Let's see. Okay. Actually making progress. That's good. One nail out. See if we can't do something with this guy. Second nail here. Maybe I can rip that piece off altogether. And we can get moving. One of the things that is annoying about pallet wood is the fact that it's going to be assembled however it's assembled, and you just have to deal with it. So a lot of this pallet wood is super inconvenient to take apart. It's not that it's impossible to do so, but just inconvenient, incredibly inconvenient. Especially these lighter pieces, you know, they're thinner pieces of wood that are glued together, you know, like a, not a particle board, but a almost like a plywood. And that's more or less how these things are made. And they are incredibly annoying to separate. They're cheaper pallets. They're not as resistant, but they are really quick to produce. And so I think a lot of companies go for these things, and they're fine for what they're meant for actually holding the pallets together. Using them for anything else, their unintended purpose, I suppose, is not convenient. Disassembly of these things is not intended. So I guess we're going to do the rest of these pieces off, forward, or together, because it's too time consuming. Okay, so I'll throw that piece right there. I will exchange it for this one. We will see how long it takes to get these staples out. Usually an easier job. Yep, these are already, before I jinx myself, I better stop gloating, but I think this is going to be just fine. Yep. Got those. Got those. First set out. Okay. One, 2, 3. Moving on to the second set. 2 out of 3. Let's see. Second set is coming out. 1, 2, 3, and third set about to come out. One of the things that this notes to you guys, I know it's a little bit bothersome to watch somebody disassemble all the pallets before they connect them to the structure. This is something that I wouldn't normally do. A lot of the time we will prep these boards when we get them. So we'll actually get them, do all of this disassembly work, and then we will just have them ready to go in a nice clean pile when we get out here. However, this time, again, these were just kind of the leftover pieces, the pieces we really didn't want to take in any of the previous loads that were, you know, so nice and convenient. And so this is just the scrap pile, essentially, even for us. This is the scrap pile. And so we went and dug through that. I went and dug through that, I should say, to get a few of these extra pieces to see what we could do with them today. And so they are not working the best for us, but they are all right. And so what we're doing now is just continuing on. I dropped one of them somewhere right here. Absolutely horrible. Somebody is going to get that in their foot one day. I really hope they don't. Da, 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 da. Okay. And oh, nope. Did not find that one. Okay, that is just a lost staple. I'll come back out here one day with a magnet and try and look for it, but for right now, we're going to try and save time and keep moving forward. That being the case, going to go in next with this guy right here. I'll actually, don't know why I have him lined up right there. I should get him lined up on this side. See if he can reach. Absolutely cannot. That's perfect. Maybe if we substitute him with this guy. Still can't. Which one's better, I guess? From the same length, same exact length. Cool. Okay. And I guess this one's a little bit better because it has the height advantage. So we will get that guy lined up right there. Actually flip it the other way so it has a little bit of a bend in it. Get that guy lined up right there. Hammer it in. Cool. Okay, so we're on effectively the third row. It normally takes, 12, 15 rows, depending on how tall each of our boards is. This one might even be like an 18, just because of how many thin boards we have, narrow boards we have. However, we will get through it one way or the other. Okay, got that one on there. Looking for the second one. We like to do 2 in each board if we can, just to make sure it's all really nice and secure, that if the wind blows too hard, that it doesn't just lose its side paneling left and right. But yep, that'll be relatively decent for what we're going to do. And again, come back in later and add some additional support there to cover up any holes or strange places in the middle. Tripping over a stump, I've got to cut that down soon, or pull it out of the ground, I guess. But here I am. What we're going to do is continue going. I'm going to sort some more wood from our pile, grab it, continue adding. We'll probably get maybe half of this done or more, I predict. Half of the half, a quarter of it, of the entire third wall complete. That one, I'll select this incredibly small piece. I'll select this other relatively small piece, this piece, this piece. Let's see, this one we'll give a shot, I guess. Why not? That one looks atrocious, absolutely not. With this one too. Okay, we'll try these guys, see how they go for a while, and then we'll keep working. Let's see if I can pick all these up at once. Almost. And this one. There we go. Got him. Dropping right there. Let's keep getting to work. All right. First off, gonna knock nails out of this guy. Get it started. Well, no, we need to start with a long one. Not that guy. Not that guy. We'll try this one. Hopefully this guy will work. Okay. Trying to work to get the nails out of this. Not cooperating as much as I'd like to. So, I may have to bail on this one as well. This is why this was the junk pile. We have a lot of junk wood pieces in here. Pieces we would rather not deal with. They're an incredible headache, but technically they are usable if you've got the right stuff to deal with them. You've got the patience. Okay. Like this one. Got this one. Okay. Final two nails for this piece. Here we go. Clean piece. Nice. Now we're going to add this guy. Probably over here. Going back to where we started. Get it lined up right there. Then that's going to be a little bit wonky, but we will see. Yeah, because we don't have any super long ones again. I guess I'll just have to start fixing some of my errors over here, and then we'll keep going. So for now, let me add this guy. Get another piece, add it to that side, and then we will start fixing everything in between. Let's see here. And that will be, crazy as it is, making some significant progress. You know, now you can step over this to walk into here, but it is like more of a barrier. It is, you know, makes it feel like you're walking into something more. And again, that's very silly because of how little we've done so far, but even still, I mean, it's coming together. It feels more and more like a structure every time we come out here. horrendous. Oh my goodness, I messed that nail up. Luckily, that one's all right. Okay. Now we have that guy in pretty dang snug, so we're gonna have to be careful there not to break it. Okay. So now we need 2 to 3 more pieces. Something along those lines. For now, I'm gonna check the comments though. Let's see what everybody is up to. Arcalon says, hello chat. Good to see you guys. Siren says, I knew a lot of smaller micronations. Sometimes I still keep in contact with them. I might start posting on my main too. Congratulations. Abbas says, our problems came in the last 2 years. Fortunately, Instagram seemed to stabilize after we all ganged up against one group of nations causing drama. Oh, goodness. I wish you guys luck. That's rough. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to drink off camera and get back to it. I'm debating between trying to find just other pieces of wood and going ahead with what we have. It's kind of irritating. I guess I'm continuing to select more pieces of wood because some of those pieces I have are just, I don't think ever really going to work for us. We will try this guy out. Again, building closer. We're going to need to start making some connections, so we'll do that momentarily, excuse me. And I guess keep going. Let's see. My biggest dilemma is, again, all of this just, you know, waste wood. This is, again, even wood that we have not wanted to deal with, pallets that are irritable to, you know, make us irritable to try and take apart, are just aggravating. And so trying to do this now is not fun. That being the case, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and add these and probably call it a day for myself. It's getting late out here, and we really don't have a ton more we can do. Again, showing you guys some of this stuff, I hope it helps to kind of visualize where we're going here with the Empire and what we're doing. Again, I'm going to stay a few more minutes with you guys. Let me check. Yeah, it's the 42% on my phone, so we should be fine. But that being the case, this structure is building. We'll probably do a few more layers, get it to halfway or a little more, and then stop there because it's just inconvenient, super inconvenient with this wood. Not that it's impossible at all, but again, just not what we need to keep progressing. You see how we're going to do this side as well, because I kind of messed us up over here. Let's see, probably do it something like that, and nail in right there. with that piece. Start like that and keep going. I could do that. I could see that working out. Okay. So for the time being, that's what we'll do. We're going to keep working with building up the rest of this one half of the third wall, get as far as we can, and call it a day. So real quick, I will dismantle this one and keep going. Again, thank you guys for liking the stream. Thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon. We try and do stuff for our patrons when we can. Again, recently I haven't been able to post much of anything other than these live streams when I actually come out to do things. Other than that, we've been running around to different places, of course, trying to finish our schoolwork for most of the time. So now that we're out of school, expect more live streams, expect more stuff to happen. I'm actually probably going to buckle down and do an edited video or two that has taken quite a while to actually come to fruition. So expect a little bit of that and just progress for the future. I think, you know, the difficulty is we have a million things we want to do. And right now trying to leverage our best assets for the time that we have is tough. You know, we want to do the best we can to develop the empire and grow its value for its citizens and for its allies. So as we keep going, we have to put that in the forefront of our minds. And of course, that'll be what's most entertaining for you guys as well, even though we're not able to provide as much content as we had been previously, or as free, I should say. The content that you guys will see will be more and more development. It'll be, you know, instead of having a ton of theoretical or conceptual work that we did previously, a lot of talking about, well, if we had land, then we would do this. If we had this, then we would do this. And this is what we're strategizing on. Now we actually have things to start putting into fruition, slowly but surely. Working on this and then working on our economy are our two big goals right now. So that's what you're going to see a lot of as we keep going, trying to connect with the local community, trying to figure out what people want, both locally and micronationally. So if you guys have ideas for products that we should put out, let us know, because we will be trying to do that as well to get some additional income. And again, if you guys just want to support what we do out here, if you guys want to see this dwelling get put up and more people coming and hanging out and us having a celebration for the development of this dwelling, as well as just the progress of Vitae, our Patreon is the way to go about it. If you want to become a part of the Garden of Nations and actually get your Micronation's flag to be planted out here beside the garden, in a nice, beautiful display that we're going to set up, all you have to do is head over to our Ko-Fi. The link for our Patreon and our Ko-Fi page are in the description. For the Ko-Fi, for getting to be a part of the Garden of Nations, it is one of the things you can purchase through our Ko-Fi page. It says, put your flag in the Garden of Nations or the Garden of Nations, something like that. So go check out that tier. Again, support us on Patreon if you guys want to, because it means the world to us. Everything that we do out here everything that we do out here requires money. Even just getting out here requires money, because it's a significant distance away from where we normally reside. So as we're trying to build living structures out here for ourselves and put in electricity and all that stuff, it adds up. And every little bit that you guys help means a ton. So you know, I think Aeternia is worth a little bit of a self-advert. So I appreciate you guys sticking around and really showing what it means to be a united community. You know, you guys, whether it is money that you give or your time and your ideas, everybody in this community is super supportive and helpful. And I'm glad we've kind of surrounded ourselves with people in the community like that. Because as we talked about earlier, not everybody is like that. There are dangerous individuals in the micronational community, and there are people who are just rude, or, you know, who are very uncaring. And so to have as wonderful examples as you guys in the community, of any age, of all ages, all backgrounds, etc., means the world to us. We're excited to have friends like you. Okay, that being the case, we're almost done here with knocking these nails out, which will give us one of the boards to start actually fixing some of the mistakes that I had earlier in putting together parts of this wall. If I can grip this thing. There we go. Part of the dilemma that you'll notice is that our wall is just open. You may not be able to see it a ton. I can bring you guys to check out the details in a few minutes, but nonetheless, it is safe to say that there are some pretty big gaps in this wall. So we're going to take one of these pieces here and use it to bridge those gaps. Actually, a couple pieces probably, and use them to bridge those gaps before we keep extending upward. That way we have not only a wall, but, you know, or some paneling, but making that actually practical too, and using it to keep out little small critters and stuff that would otherwise be passing through this area. We are blocking it off and reserving this space for ourselves and future Aeternian citizens, other Aeternian visitors, people who are welcomed by our great empire. And so, still got to keep hammering this guy. There we go. We got it. This one's clear and ready to be attached. We are going to get right about here and start doing that. So I'm going to start off with this guy. And I will connect these two together right about, probably move that over just a little bit. Right about there. If I could, I might see about breaking this thing. Well, I don't know. I would like to cut this thing, but if I do, I worry that it won't work out to my benefit. So maybe not. Maybe I'll just secure it like that. But ideally, I would actually do this a different way. Yep. Okay. We're just gonna nail that down like that. Put the next one on. Do the same thing, and keep moving forward. Need 2 nails for this. Well, 4 nails actually. 2 for one side, 2 for the other. Make sure it really holds tight. Here we go. And we're fixing the wall. There we go. Got 1 nail in. Hey. 2 nails in. Got that part secure. Gonna get these other 2. And then we should be moving on to our other fix. And then we'll be just about done there. All right. I'll go ahead and nail that right there so it's not too weird. There we go. Okay. Got 1 secure. And looking for our other nail. Losing a million of them out here. Let's see. Did I put it on this side? Nope. Pretty sure I dropped it right down here. but I moved some stuff in front of it, and now it appears I will never find it again. Perfect. Okay. Grabbing another nail. Yep. Here we go. We will just tack this guy in and keep moving forward. Okay. That's a little bit inconvenient right there. See if we can't push that back together. Okay. Okay, and got that part secure. This is all together. Now what I'm gonna do, I think, is go ahead and add a couple extra nails to support this section of the wall. What we did previously, let me make sure my mic is still on and that you guys can still hear me. Appreciate you guys for being here. What we did with this wall was actually secured the pieces to each other and then secured the layers to each other. And so that's what we're going to be doing now with this section. So I'll take it somewhere like right here and just try to pierce through to another section. Cool, yep, I got it. Cool. Okay, that holds relatively well under there, and then we will keep going with these guys. Once we secure those, we will be just about done with our fixes and can move on to more building and adding additional height to this wall. So we're going to go ahead with, I'm thinking this guy. These are very long pieces to use for these supports. I think I'm going to go ahead with this one actually. Fix this. I've got to knock out some staples here, but crossing my fingers, that shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. Pulling one staple out. Got it. Pulling two staples out. Got that. Having to fix some of these to get them out. Okay, so it looks like we're having difficulty with two of these here. I'm going to pop out the two that are going to be easier. Yep, and then these last ones, I guess we're just going to hammer flat for the time being and move on to the end pieces. This is going to be similar. Again, right now I'm just trying to get all of the staples out of this piece of wood. This is a pretty nice piece of wood, but it's one that broke in half, and so we're just using it as a connector piece to make a joint between the two pieces of wood that we have in this previous section that we just did. So we're going to join those pieces of wood in just a moment. If I can pull all these screws out, these staples out. In fact, even though it seems like I cannot, they're too bent. I'm also likewise going to just hammer them down real flat and not worry too much about it. So we'll leave that on the outside so that it doesn't really affect our structure too much. And then we'll place all this together just about like that. So let's see how that goes. Get this piece connected onto this piece, and then we'll go back for the other one. Okay, so we're going to do the back side to connect. We will move to the more front-facing piece to make sure that it all ends up level and like we want it to. Okay, so lining the two pieces up that we want to be real level with each other. I actually might go ahead and secure that down. I'm going to do a similar thing, bracing one of the pieces of the wall to another one of the levels, so that way we can kind of already have a little bit of structure before we have to worry much about trying to hold pieces together long ways. Let's see. And I missed entirely. That is tragic. Let's see. If we can't pull this nail right back out. Looks like we can. What I might do is actually just there we go. Got it to connect to the other side. Excuse me, my voice is going out. Now that I've got it secure, I can actually connect to these other pieces right here. Okay. We just about got it all the way through. There we go. Now, getting it secured. Perfect. And this is starting to feel like an actual little wall. Again, we can still step over it, but it is getting harder and harder to step over as it gets taller. Feeling more and more like a structure. Okay. Like a viable structure, I should say. Okay. Now we're going to secure these pieces together right here. There we go. There we go. All right, this one's connected as well. So now all I need to do is finish connecting the joining piece right here in the middle, and we will be done with this layer. There we go. Got that one. Going for our second. Okay. Perfect. We got our next piece set up. Now we will go and continue elevating. So we go this way, stack that up. That'll be the next layer. Do the same thing with this board over there, and that'll be our next layer. And we will keep piling like that. So real fast, gonna knock these guys out. Not those. Gonna knock these out as I line them up properly. Same thing here, so we can get them all done pretty quick. Let's see. Yep, almost. Okay, almost got it. Okay. Dang, that sucks. I broke one of the staples, and so now it's not coming out. But that's all right. Got this guy. Real quick, in just a second, I'm coming back to check the comments for you guys. So do not worry, I will be there shortly for that. Real quick, let me knock the rest of these staples out, and we will see what you guys have been talking about. Okay, see about these. All right, see if we can get 1 out of 3 going. Ooh, almost. Just keep trying it. Let's see, 1 out of 3. All right, 1 out of 3. Moving on to 2 out of 3. Let's see it. Oh, got to fix my staples. All right, come on, 2 out of 3. Okay, well, this guy's giving me some trouble, so I'm going to have to hit it a little more, I guess. Violence is not a tactic normally employed in Aeternia, but for getting these staples out, it is absolutely encouraged. Let's see. Okay, having a little trouble with this guy. Let's see if we can't just force it out. And we got it. Second out of 3. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 on this guy. Almost. Maybe if I can work it a little more. Here we go. Okay, got in there. And 3 for 3. Perfect. All right. Clean piece of wood. Adding on top. That'll be layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Layer 5. All right. Getting close. Let me come see what you guys are up to. Woo! 13 likes, 9 viewers. Thank you guys. Let's see. Vulcansberg said, what's up? Good to see you, Vulcanberg. Alberto Stone says, new discover. I discovered I'm close to La Cueva del Indio, the Indian cave. Very cool. James Worrell says, from YouTube here, anyone know what he's building? I'm late. Hey, great to see you. We are in the Empire of Aeternia, a micronation. Specifically, we are in our capital territory of Vitae, James. We are building right now a dwelling. Effectively, this is a little shed because we have no water out here. We have no electricity, no sewage. We are trying to build just a storage shed as of the moment. However, as we build it up more, we make it, of course, with a roof on it, and make it a little more waterproof, a little more habitable. It'll start to turn into a little camp for us so that we can stay the weekends out here, bring things necessary to survive, having a little compost toilet, stuff like that. Eventually, we will get this to the point where people can come and stay the night or weekend out here in a micronation, an entirely different country. The eventual goal for all of this is to be able to build houses ourselves for people who want to become Eternian citizens, who want to live out here rent-free, and who want to be a part of a community that is invested personally in it, in their well-being. With what we have, trying to keep going. So as of right now, this will be, not great with dimension, 150 square feet, something like this, to kind of start out with, maybe closer to 200 square feet. But that's going to be plenty for us to have a little place to sleep, a little place to cook, and wash up if we absolutely had to, in kind of a covered area. And so that's the start of all this. Thanks for asking, James. I appreciate it. Republic of Alberto Stone says wall. Yes, that's a great short and sweet summary. We're building a wall as of right now, but we're building the third wall out of 4 for our very first dwelling here in the Empire. That being the case, let's keep going with it. Coughing up a storm. All right, I am moving forward with the 5th layer. Yep. So let's go there. All right. Okay. Excuse me, guys. All right, we got that piece relatively secured, grabbing our second nail that I just set down, and now again am facing the same blunder I have faced about 17 times today, setting a nail down and then losing it forever in this Where's Waldo maze of foliage on the ground. Gosh, okay. In not finding this nail I think it is a sign that I should be wrapping up relatively quickly. Gonna go ahead and finish this layer out and then probably call it quits with you guys. Again, not even making it halfway, almost halfway, but having a pretty good start, honestly, with like spare wood, with stuff that we really haven't, planned out or, purposefully collected. This is just stuff that we have kind of laying around. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Again, very, very practical, beneficial for us, more beneficial than having to wait another week or 2 weeks to come out here to start working on it. Honestly, going pretty well. Well, I say that. Gonna have to pull this guy out because I messed up. Accidentally elevated it higher than it needed to go. So that means pulling this nail out and starting over. Because there are some mistakes which are in the building of this wall certainly forgivable. Things dealing with, misplacing something slightly. This, however, if we set a board way up here angled, that is not really something that we can easily move past. It's going to be tough for us to keep going at that point. So instead, what we actually need to do is really press down here, make sure that when we set up the board, we're setting it up level, and then go in and actually secure down one of our nails, get it started, get it through the first piece of wood. Again, continue holding it flat, flush with the other piece, and then driving it in. Cool. Got that one set up better. We will go. Still have one more, I think. Don't we? Nope. Am I crazy? Nope. Hey, we do. We still have two more. Okay. So, separating these out. And trying to figure out which board we're going to use for our next one. Actually, I have it already selected over here. Okay. Throw that off to the side. Let me separate these two nails. Cool. Okay. I'm going to set it right on top of here so I know exactly where my nail is. Next time I need to get one. Actually, I need both of these. And I'm going to move over here to finally secure the rest of these. Okay, let me see if I can't pull this out. Almost. Okay. Couldn't get it out, so we're just going to flatten it. Cool. And same thing with these guys. They are very bent, so we're just not even going to worry about it. Junk wood. Just going to flatten those guys out right there. And then keep building. All right. And getting this piece set up, we are making our fifth layer pretty nicely here. Going in for the initial securing strikes here. Well, I'll actually move the nail a little. It's not the best placement. Let's see. Okay. Weird. Weird. there are, let me make sure this didn't die. Nope, you guys can still hear me. Great. This guy is having some shenanigans occur with it, I would say. This incredibly long nail, not doing well in this board. So we may have to scrap the whole board. I really hope it doesn't come to that. I guess we're laying another nail down flat on this board as we did previously. Now we're building some aesthetic on the boards. This is interesting. We have a rustic aesthetic, I suppose, having a whole bunch of nails stick out of our boards on our buildings. Probably not the best. But here we go. Moving on to this one. Hopefully this one will secure it and we will have there we go. Yep. And just like that, our fifth layer starting to come into place. Just going to need a middle board to secure it, and we can keep piling. All right, and we're going to just some new nails in general. Got that stuff there. Got these guys up, bumping my head. Let's see. Got a second nail securing this one down, making sure it's extra tight on there. Cool deal. Now we will secure it down between layers, and then from there we will continue on to making a connecting piece, oh goodness, left a joint, if you will, between the two. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, and that will allow us to move forward to the next layer. Let's see, actually I might be able to do that by just, let's see here. This should work. One way or the other, it did. It secured onto there. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we'll make the connecting pieces. All right. So, got this one. Do we want this as a connecting piece? Why not? Okay, so we'll make it right about there. Or do we want to go inside? Yeah, that's going to be a lot nicer. Okay. Got another one set up, ready to go. Going to use actually more of these nails that we have saved up back here. Get 2 for each side, and that'll actually spin the rest of these nails. Nice. Okay, so securing the joint for our 5th layer. Okay, these nails are not working well for this application, so I'm changing up I just don't think they're real thick, and so they're not actually penetrating through the boards like we need them to. We're going to be going a different route now. Dang, even this one. Not working well over here. Okay. We're going to try the big guns here. Gonna get one of these guys. We have some real thick nails in here that are perfect for driving through this pallet wood, but we have a limited amount of them, so I'm trying to be careful with how we spin those. And like butter, of course, this one goes in. Yep, like butter. Okay, that's secure on this side. Gonna secure this side, and then just might call it. Let's see. I'll put a third nail, well, second nail, I guess, technically, in this side. Really make sure we get it down. And then we will finish up with that one and probably call it a day for today. We'll see. Okay. There we go. Got through this one too. Secured. Perfect. Now we secure down onto this one. Well, guess I'll just grab these two. Okay, for some reason this one goes through. I'll take it. No complaints here. And then save this one from the ground. Secure it down. Perfect. Now we're doing pretty dang good. Might try and secure that like that. But other than that, we are doing pretty dang good. Okay. In that case, I think we're calling it there, guys. We have made some progress. We're maybe a third of a half of the way done with the third wall, or a sixth of the way done with the third wall. We are making some progress. Again, as you can see here, it is building, it's going up. We have it pretty well blocked off. There are some holes that you can see. There are some little gaps that we're going to have to clean up before we actually try and stay the night in this thing, or really try and keep anything too securely in here. Of course, this isn't the perfect structure yet. We're going to have to put in some additional framing to secure those walls tighter to the posts, and do a number of other things to support the weight from the roof that will eventually be put on. But it's a start. We're getting forward. We're designing something that can kind of give us a little home here at Vitae. And I think it's going well. Let's see. Okay, real quick, I'll go ahead and read some comments and then we will head out. The Witchery said he's building a structure to lock up items and get out of the rain. A good starting point for building a homestead. Thank you, Witchery. That means a lot. Yep. And if you guys have any advice on this, let me know. Again, I'll take you guys for a little bit of a tour here. Yep, because my phone's about to die. I'm gonna have to say goodbye to you guys real quick. There's a whole bunch of course, like previous structural stuff we tried to put up in there that we're gonna have to go ahead and knock down, as can be expected. A lot of stuff we need to work on still. So yeah, in addition, here's our garden. Like I said previously, if you want to be a part of this garden, if you think the garden is cool and want to have your flag in it, if you run a micronation, or just if you want your country, your Micronation's flag in it, let us know. And you can support us over on our Ko-Fi page to help raise funds for building up Vitae, the capital territory of our Micronation, the Empire of Aeternia. As you can see, we're growing some tomatoes and cucumbers and radishes and mustard and carrots and lettuce and cabbage and all sorts of things. So that being the case, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I will see you all soon, and Aeternia forever. Peace, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Aeternia forever. Another strong development out here. Bye, guys. Am I going to do it? Am I going to stop the stream? Nobody knows.